B plus. B plus, roughly, at best, A minus. That was a good one. That was a really good one. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a great Direct. I thought that was a really, really good Nintendo Direct. The fabled, always consistent, or almost always consistent September Direct. We just got that today, a couple hours ago. I just finished recording and now it's rendering the video for my reaction highlights. So I figured, you know, you always know the drill if you guys know me. I put down notes of what happened in this Direct. And I'm just gonna give my thoughts on not every announcement. Not every announcement. I don't usually do that with these discussions anymore. I go over stuff that like interests me the most, stuff that caught my eye, stuff that's definitely gonna get even a little bit of an opinion, forget a mini discussion out of me. And there was plenty of hype going into this Direct. I think the main thing about this Direct, like, obviously it's Mario's 40th anniversary, but it definitely felt like there was like something for everyone, right? You got a lot of Mario stuff, you got plenty of RPGs and Sims, even some horror games here and there were some surprises here and there. some funny ones, and a few really, really pleasant ones. So, I was gonna say this, the way this Direct starts, it's technically a really good start, because it's like jingling keys in front of me, goo goo gaga, oh my god, now you have my attention, because it's like, the first third of this Direct was literally just Mario stuff, Mario's 40th anniversary, but that's technically not even true, because the very first thing they talk about, Miyamoto pops in, it's like, hey guys, Nintendo Museum's coming along well, look at the stuff we have in this museum, by the way, we're gonna open the Universal in Orlando soon, by the way, there's gonna be a marathon in like, it's either Tokyo or Kyoto, I forgot already. I already know, people were pissed, because why are you starting a pretty big Nintendo Direct that's like an hour long, talking about a freaking marathon in the museum? It's like not actual games. Miyamoto talking about stuff like that makes sense. At the very beginning, though, I'm pretty sure there were some people that were pissed about that. But that gets alleviated pretty quickly because our second Mario movie's not Mario World, despite the teaser and what you would think. It's Mario Galaxy. It's Mario Galaxy. It is a galaxy. We're not doing World. We're not doing Sunshine. We're going straight to Galaxy. You can already guess I've already started making a video for that one because I don't know if you've been around when I did the hype train for the Mario movie. That was so fun. My review for the first movie is like literally as long as the movie itself. I got plenty of stuff I want to pick apart and just break into pieces and dissect for what I want out of this movie because there's quite a bit. But Mario Galaxy, dude, Mario Galaxy literally, that moved generations. That's a generational Mario game. Like, so many people love those games. Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2, Rosalina, her backstory, the atmosphere Galaxy had, the levels, dude. The fact, like, almost 20 years later, like, one of my favorite Mario games, period, that's getting adapted into a movie. Like, we got Mario Bros, but now we're just going, dude, and like, obviously, it's like the movie style and direction, like, it looks gorgeous. The movies look, or at least the one movie we have, but like, the teaser from what we have, it also looks stupid gorgeous, stupid good, very, very beautiful. That was also one of the things I got right, predicting, like, Mario Anniversary stuff. I figured we get Mario, like, movie stuff. That was one of my predictions. Okay, here's a fun thing I'm gonna do for this video, too. I'm gonna go over, like, I have predictions, and I usually go over, like, ones I got right and wrong. I'm, like, 50-50 for this one. I got, like, half right, half wrong. So for everything we go over, I'm gonna bring up a prediction I got right and wrong. So, this Mario movie stuff, Mario 40th Anniversary Shenanigans, I got both of that right. What I got wrong, though, was predicting they would bring back 3D All-Stars with Galaxy 2. But I was right that we did get Galaxy 2 anyways. They're just remastering Galaxy 1 and 2 and putting it in a collection. And you could buy the games individually on the eShop, which is really cool. But this is the second time they're re-releasing Galaxy. Like, it's just funny because 3D All-Stars. Like, was it really necessary for 3D All-Stars to exist to begin with? Because now we have NSO. 64's on there. Sunshine's gonna be on there soon. We're probably gonna get Wii games at some point, like eventually down the line. So they're probably gonna put Galaxy on there, right? So it's just funny in hindsight, like, they're really re-releasing Galaxy 1 twice. But, like, attaching Galaxy 2 to it would make the most sense in trying to re-release Galaxy. And these do seem like decent enough remasters. 3D All-Stars as remasters, like, we all, like, it's cool that the collection has all 3 games together. The remasters, as far as them being remasters, like, they were the literal, absolute barest of minimum type of remasters. Like, they did the literal bare minimum. 64 got a couple new UI elements. It's like 720p. Sunshine and Galaxy are 1080p widescreen. And that's pretty much it. That's literally it for that. And, like, there's, like, a CD. You can, like, listen to the game's music in a separate thing. Whatever. Here, though, okay, we're getting Amiibo, which, oh my god, dude, I never thought we would ever get Galaxy Amiibo. That never even crossed my mind. And it's cool that, like, this collection does tie into the movie. This is, like, a way for them to build up momentum and hype surrounding the Mario Galaxy movie. And the Amiibo look amazing. I'm really glad since the Switch generation started, Switch 1, Amiibo have literally just looked so freaking good. Like, we have come a long way since the Wii U and 3DS days of how Amiibo looked, which, like, most still looked fine, don't get me wrong, but there were a couple stragglers of just very ugly, very piss-poor looking Amiibo. The Galaxy ones look really cool. We got a new render for Rosalina, like, reading her book to the Lumas. The storybook in Galaxy 1 is also going to be in Galaxy 2, and they're going to add new material to it. I'm pretty sure they're gonna probably add, like, stuff that, like, Rosalina reads, and, like, she remembers all the events that happen because the universe resets in Galaxy 1. And I low-key think we're probably gonna get, like, an origin story of how Rosalina and Lubba, like, meet up. I think that's probably gonna be a thing in Galaxy 2 storybook. So that's cool. And the Galaxy games are gonna be 4K on Switch 2. 4K Galaxy 1 and 2. Ooh, baby. They're both stellar Mario games. They're both incredible games. They help define the Galaxy 1 at least define the Wii, but, like, Galaxy 2 is still a really, really, really good title that you should sink your time into. Yeah, no, that's cool. Oh my god, yeah, dude, and they're making a physical version of Rosalina's storybook. Okay, yeah. Okay, I found the page. Yeah, they're dropping a physical version of Rosalina's storybook. It's like $25. It's gonna drop, like, late November on the 25th. Dude, they're doing so much for Galaxy. And it really shows. They said the movie was going to be the main event for the 40th anniversary, which is crazy to think about. And it really does feel like it because of the remaster collection, and now there's a storybook, and we're going to get Amiibo. Dude, 9-year-old me is popping off so much right now. I was also going back to the movie, too, because it makes sense. DK, like, they didn't say, like, DK and Cranky are going to be in the movie, and they didn't say the voice actors were reprising their roles, because the voice actors for Mario, Peach, Luigi, Toad, Bowser, and Kamek are all going to be in the movie. They're going to be in the second movie. So it makes sense DK and Cranky aren't going to be in it. It is unfortunate they're not going to add Spike in it, though. Because they redesigned the character and they brought him back from a really niche NES game. And yeah, he's just, he's gone. He's dead. He's dead. GG's. Alright, that's 2 things I got right. The Mario Anniversary stuff and Galaxy 2. No 3D All-Stars thing, though. But I did not get right. This was the pie in the sky prediction. Dude, I'm not getting it for, like, several years. 3D Mario, that's fine, whatever. Especially because we got something later in the Direct that, like, alright, that makes a lot more sense now. They really are just attaching 3D Mario to this one thing. I'm not going to go on the whole spiel, that's fine. I'm low-key more disappointed there wasn't a 1,000-Year Door Switch 2 edition, which is another thing I got wrong. But one thing I did get right, though, I was like, but, like, you could barely count this one because I'm like, alright, if it's not 3D Mario, it's either a new Mario Maker or Luigi's Mansion. Neither of those happened. And I did open the idea for a possibility of, like, okay, maybe a sports game. They don't usually do that in the first year. They're doing that in the first year. Mario Tennis Fever. There's like new mechanics and whatnot different from Aces. They use like the same models and characters and whatnot. The character roster's stupid. They have like Spinies, they have the Pokies. It's just as like scrimblow bimblow fuck as stupid as Mario Kart World. I'm really hype about that. The new mechanic is like they're like item-based rackets and like you fill up a meter. Then you can do like fever shots and they all have different effects like fireballs on the field and they mess up like the opponent. That low-key definitely seems more like a type of mechanic I would envision in like the old school Mario Tennis games. Because that's not that far off from like Power Tennis and its mechanics. Characters had like their own special like swing, right? They had their own special shots. But this is kind of similar, but like all the rackets have different power-ups basically. And there's like different modes. Trial Tower is probably like a gauntlet type mode. Mix it up like mini games on the courts. And there's an actual adventure mode. There's a literal adventure mode. Like Tennis Aces had like something similar with... No! Tennis Aces did have like a single player mode. I'm thinking Golf Super Rush, because that kind of had like a single player mode, but that lasted like a short amount of time. But this one has like an interesting concept where like the characters are all babyfied. Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, Baby Peach. We have Baby Wario making a return and Baby Waluigi for the first time. And they're like going around doing like a bunch of tennis challenges and like stuff to like find the person that made them babies and like turn them back. At the very least, this game is more interesting than Tennis Aces. Tennis Aces, I think, is a good Mario Tennis. But this is inherently more interesting just because you have a more interesting setup for like the single player mode. You have an actual adventure mode. You have power-ups tying to the actual tennis rackets. And Tennis Aces' roster is good, but this game's roster definitely seems more in line with like Mario Kart World and stuff. Like I think Tennis Fever at least seems like a more interesting Mario Tennis on paper, especially in the single player stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm open to the game. Comes out February next year. I'm cautiously optimistic. Speaking of, Mario Kart World DLC, I predicted that, did not get that. But I predicted no new Super Mario Bros. Collection. I don't know who made that rumor to begin with. Dude, they would not waste their time with that, because Super Mario Bros. Wonder pretty much changed the direction of 2D Mario, which, oh, look at that! I am killing it with these segues. Speaking of Mario Wonder, Wonder got a Switch 2 edition, plus meet up at Bella Park. There's like a whole new world. Like, there's like new levels, a lot of versus and co-op levels getting a focus, which is really, really nice. I'm really curious that, like, this is probably going to push the online a lot more, because I really hope like, these levels are playable single player, because it's cool that there's going to be, like, co-op stuff. I think there's going to be single player stuff even outside this, like, Belleville Park stuff, because you collect, like, bellflowers in that, but they're bringing back the Koopalings, which I never thought I would say I'm hyped for, because, like, Wonder's bosses kind of suck, man, besides the final boss, but, like, it's all Bowser Jr., they're all boring ass fights. They don't go that crazy with the Wonder stuff. Like, it's basically like the same as Kamek or like the Koopalings waving their wands and like weird ass powers they get. So I have more faith that the Wonder Flower is actually going to do something with the Koopalings, because I think you inherently have more potential with having 7 of these dudes back. And I think they're going to be in like the main playable. They're going to be in the main campaign pretty much. They're releasing a talking flower speaking statue. That's cute. The DLC drops in like spring 2026. There's a lot of games coming out in spring already. They just confirmed like so much stuff dropping in spring, which is really nice. They like that keeps the hype train going. There's going to be a lot more stuff to look forward to than just the stuff coming this holiday. And now there's even more stuff coming this holiday, because the Galaxy 1 and 2 remasters are dropping in October. Oh my god, dude, my wallet is dying. It is dying. But Wonder's getting a Switch 2 edition. The DLC, the mask from Mario 2 is in it, which is really cool. I'm looking forward to that. And I was right that we are getting more Switch 2 edition games. And I was right, it was Mario Wonder, but I was like, Peach Showtime, Brothership, Thousand Year Door, Pikmin 4, all Xenoblades, no. Maybe later, maybe later. Maybe a couple of those games will probably get a Switch 2 edition, or like some update down the line. They're open to making more Switch 2 editions, like that is confirmed at the very least, which is good. And the last thing, as far as Mario's 40th anniversary, Yoshi is getting another new game. That's another thing I kind of figured they would just wait later on. Also, Yoshi low-key might be Nintendo's worst franchise, lowest of keys, but thankfully, this new Yoshi game low-key kind of looks good. Whole gimmicks like Yoshi finds like this book, and this dude called Mr. E. There's literally a Smash player called Mr. E. He used to go to a lot of tournaments where I live before he moved, so literally I just keep thinking of him, and I think that's really, really funny. But yeah, the levels, they're in this book. Yoshi goes in and he has to like discover like a bunch of new stuff and like mechanics and worlds and enemies and whatnot in this world. Conceptually, I think it's really cute. I have more faith in this game than Yoshi Crafted World, because Yoshi's Crafted World, I think it's fine. I think it's a fine game, but a lot of people say it's way more disappointing going off of Yoshi's Woolly World. But yeah, no, I think it depends on the level design and the mechanics. This one definitely seems like it's steering more. It definitely seems like it's steering more like just going back to form, because you have that like drawn art style. Like this one's definitely based more like color pencil-ish, because the Yoshi's Island art style originally is like pastel. So this one's definitely steering closer to its original direction. The mechanics look really cool. We do got to see more. That's dropping in 2026 spring. Another spring title. It looks good though. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And like, a bunch of other smaller stuff. You got like Dinkum, and it's like a timed exclusive, and it's like a farming. I don't know if it's a farming sim. It's like some kind of sim, whatever. Yeah, and of course, like you had like a bunch of like indie games, third parties, a bunch of different titles they just dropped. Puyo Puyo mixed with Splatoon. I kind of like it, and like you also had like Final Fantasy VII Remake. Intergrade, that's coming out in January. You also had Hades 2 getting a Switch edition that's dropping in a couple weeks. Mortal Kombat getting a Legacy Collection. I'm definitely looking forward to that. There's no blood in the Direct, so people were kind of upset. But like, it did kind of remind me of the old school SNES days where they had to censor the blood. I'm assuming, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, they're probably going to censor the blood in the trailer. I don't think they're going to censor it in the actual game when it drops. But the Tomodachi Life, that was one thing I predicted and I got right. Living the Dream, they got like more stuff. They just showing like more of the Miis, how they live on the island, and like showing like you could discover how Miis get along with each other and like what's their favorite food. Another spring title, just way more spring titles, and I got that right. I thought we were gonna get Rhythm Heaven. I think most people were expecting Rhythm Heaven though. We didn't get anything, so that game's probably a much farther ways out, unfortunately. But I was also predicting Splatoon Raiders. Did not get that. But I did get Metroid Prime 4. We did get... They're giving all the, like, the older, like, the series where it's geared more towards older people. They're just giving everyone a freaking motorcycle. Link got a motorcycle in Mario Kart, and then he got it in Breath of the Wild. Now Samus is getting a motorcycle, and you see you're driving around this massive desert. That makes me think there's going to be like massive worlds throughout most of Metroid Prime 4, and that makes me hype. And finally, we got a release date. December, literally last possible frame they could have dropped it for this year. It is coming this year, and it's getting an amiibo. I'm just glad Metroid Prime fans finally got a release date for this thing, because they've been... Finally, the tunnel is within sight. They are very close to the tunnel. It's not even out on the horizon. They're by the tunnel. The tunnel's in sight.
By tunnel, I meant exit.
Finally, I'm really happy for them. That's really cool. Other things I got right that are pretty safe. I was right about the third parties at the wazoo. I was wrong about Devil May Cry, though. Kirby Air Riders. They just said amiibo. All they said was there's amiibo and there's going to be a second direct about Kirby Air Riders, which that I was not expecting. That I was surprised by, because like we got like a lot in that first direct, and the game comes out in like a month. Do we really need like another direct? Sakurai seems to think so, which is fine. But Kirby Planet Robot Remaster predicted, did not get that. But Hyrule Warriors, they said more about the game. That's coming out November 6th. I was expecting that to be like a December game. Dude, there's so much stuff coming out this holiday. That's gonna be tough, bro. That's gonna be tough. Yeah, there was also a couple of surprises as far as third parties go. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. Dragon Quest VII getting a remake. That's really cool. Near the end of the direct, they also showed up. They said like Resident Evil 8 and Resident Evil 7 is gonna come on Switch too. Like, yeah, Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly getting a remake, and it's coming early 2066. That's what I mean. There's like a pretty hefty amount of just all different types of games you could think of. A lot of different third parties, indies, and other types of titles you would think of coming to Switch. And first party wise, like there was a hefty amount. Which the funniest thing in this direct. NSO expansion. You pay $50. You get N64 games, right? You get GameCube games. You're also gonna get Virtual Boy. The Virtual Boy sucks. There's like one good game on that thing. A very infamous reputation for that console. Nintendo didn't care. The Virtual Boy's coming to NSO. They recreated the hardware, like the whole thing with the helmet that you have to look into. There's also getting a cardboard model. You put the Switch in. It's dropping in February. Like, I don't think anybody in their right mind would ever expect Nintendo to just bring back the Virtual Boy. Somehow, the Virtual Boy returned. And they're like, oh, you'll get to enjoy these 14 games coming to the library. I want to know how many people out there don't know. Those 14 games are literally the entire library. Like, there's a lot of dislikes on the trailer for the Virtual Boy, which, like, don't get me wrong, it's infamous. A lot of people don't like it. Literally, Virtual Boy Wario Land's like the only good game on that thing. And it's probably going to be really annoying that they recreated the exact setup for this thing just to play games on it. But, like, you gotta commend them that, like, they are just going all the way. Like, it's mainly the novelty. The novelty definitely carries it. It's funny. I would get it just to say I have it, just because Nintendo is going out of their way to just recreate the Virtual Boy for Switch hardware anyways. It's funny. I'll give them points. It's really funny. And, like, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool in just the novelty aspect. So, like, I'll give them props for dropping a console everybody hates. Because everybody hates it, you know. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to it. And, like, a bunch of Switch 2 games are getting Switch 2 editions, whether it's, like, extra content or just more enemies can handle being on screen in Switch 2. Like, One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. Overcooked 2 is getting a Switch 2 edition. Stardew Valley is getting one with, like, mouse controls and game share. Hades 2, I mentioned that earlier. That one looks kind of cool. And that's going to be, like, exclusive to the Switch. And I think Switch 2 for a couple months. So I was right that there was just going to be more Switch 2 editions, period. I was not expecting Bananza getting DLC. Mario Odyssey did not get DLC. It got just like an update with Luigi's Balloon World and a bunch of costumes. They are making whole DLC for DK Bananza. Like DK Island and Emerald Rush. Dude, I looked away. I don't know the context. I haven't even free Pauline. Clearly, I'm gonna have to stream the game a lot more lately. I'm gonna have to stream the game a lot more now. I'm gonna have to make time for that. But Bananza DLC at all, that's really hype. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And one thing that's always hard to predict in these directs is just Pokemon stuff, you know? Because Game Freak and Pokemon Company do their own thing. So you can't always predict Pokemon to show up in these things. We got like a good chunk of Pokemon stuff in this direct. Pokemon Pokopia. You're a Ditto transformed into a human, and it's basically like a living simulator where you're creating like an environment for multiple Pokemon to just live in happily. Like, that's really creative. That, like, I think a lot of people are really gonna like that, because apparently living sims, farming sims, like just simulator games period. There was a power washing simulator game, dude. Sims are just really popular. They're like booming the last several years. So the fact we're gonna get a Pokemon sim in a similar vein, but you're a Ditto, and you're just trying to make a good environment for more Pokemon to join in, like, I think that's gonna catch on. That definitely seems like a creative type of sim that many people will latch onto. And Legend ZA Switch 2 Edition, they showed off megas for Greninja, Delphox, and Chestnut, which is really cool. I'm looking forward to that. And, you know, I thought it was cool. They announced DLC for Legend ZA, but literally when I clicked record off, I finished recording for the reactions. I'm like, wait, the game's not even fucking out yet. And then I saw a lot of people. That's probably the thing people were pissed about the most in this direct. A lot of people are not happy about that. There's Raichu's gonna get 2 Mega Evolutions, Mega Raichu X, Mega Raichu Y, and that's cool and all. Announcing DLC for a game that's not even out is kind of diabolical. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we used to call that post-game content. And, like, Pokemon's always been on, like, kind of, like, a slippery slope. Because ever since Sword and Shield, they had, like, DLC content. They released it after the game launched, right? But this is, like, I think this might not be, my memory's hazy. This might not be the first time they just announced DLC for a game before it came out. But, yeah, it is unfortunate, man. Like, it's cool, like, Koopa's getting a thing in the game, Raichu's getting a Mega Evolution, the Pikachu line continues to be relevant, even after the Ash is done with the anime and all that, but, yeah, it's a little stinky, that's a little poopy. Hey, you got Danganronpa 2 Remake 2x2, dropping 20, Danganronpa, I love making that joke, Dynasty Warriors Origins, Monster Hunter Stories 3, there you got, you got 7, you got 8, you got 9, Requiem, Village, Biohazard, all the modern Resident Evil on Switch. It is nice that I forgot about game key cards for most of that direct, because most of these are probably going to be game key cards, man. It sucks. But I predicted no Smash, got that right. Kid Icarus is also the other, like, pie in the sky dream I'm always going to have from here on out. And I predicted Fire Emblem's ripe. And we did get a Fire Emblem game, but I was not expecting that as like the last big thing, which Xenoblade had been the last big thing for a couple directs now. Fire Emblem's like one of their A-tier franchises, so it makes sense. It does make sense. And it looks good, I will say that. It's so funny too, because there's a lot of Three Houses connections when you look at the trailer. Like, I think one of the weapons, I don't know the names, I haven't played Three Houses, I know like some stuff here and there. One of the gangs from Three Houses is in there. One of the weapons is in there. The main character plays with a spear. So, when he gets added to Smash, at least he's going to be a spear user. At least we're going to have a more unique Fire Emblem character when that comes. But, and then Sothis is at the end of the trailer. They pretty much pulled a Radiant Dawn where, like, it's 2 different games taking place within, like, the same timeline and world and whatnot. So, that's really cool. But I know Three Houses did have quite a bit of discourse when that game was brand new, and it is trending again, so Three Houses discourse is just going to continue for, like, almost the next decade, probably, because this game's probably going to get DLC, but new Fire Emblem game, that's definitely pretty cool. I'm low-key pretty proud of Fire Emblem, pretty much cementing itself as a very consistent and popular Nintendo franchise at this point, to where it's getting, like, the final ender, the last big thing, the big thing at the end of a direct, and I would definitely say that's big enough. I think Fire Emblem's definitely big enough to where it could get that spot, and it could definitely get that praise and that recognition. It's still gonna get memed, don't get me wrong, you're still gonna have people meme it's like, oh, boo, anime sword fighter, but like, nah, Fire Emblem's definitely very popular now, and there are a good chunk of games that are really good. But yeah, that's pretty much the direct. A lot of Mario stuff, a lot of exciting Mario stuff, funny-ass Virtual Boy, somehow the Virtual Boy returned in the big 2025. A lot of third parties galore, a lot of release dates for those third parties, and a bunch of new ones. Kirby Air Riders getting more support in the coming months. Metroid Prime 4 finally getting a release date. Hyrule Warriors finally getting a release date. DK Bananza getting DLC. Dragon Quest 1 and 2. 7 Remake. Resident Evil. Like, there's a lot. There's something for everyone. This is definitely one of those directs that there's something for everyone. I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Listen, man, I hyped it responsibly, but even I could say that direct was really fun and I enjoyed it a lot. So I don't think I'm a part of the problem where I'm like, dude, that direct sucks. Boo, no 3D Mario. I don't think I'm a part of the problem. You could at least give me that. Because even when I could go, because like, you gotta have some fun with these directs, man. Where's the fun if you don't dream? You gotta dream every now and then, right? At least a little bit. That's the point of these directs. That's the point of these crazy announcements. Like, you gotta get excited, man. You never know. You never know. You could get a remake of the One Paper Mario that everyone wouldn't stop bitching about for 11 years. You never know. If maybe you could get a new 3D game for the big monkey guy who hasn't gotten a game in a decade. You never know if you might get that cringy-ass soy boy anime sword fighter boy with the keyblade as a sword in the big crossover fighting game with the big black croc and the long anime sword fighter that's in the popular anime RPG. I'm talking about Sephiroth. You get the point. You get the point. But give me your thoughts on the direct. I think all the Mario stuff was really clean. Expect a Mario Galaxy movie video. Expect that in the coming days. Thank you for watching. And Baba Booey, stay super.
Yo, hey, 妹妹，嘿，我来呀！不，共和到哈哈呀，拉面，嘿，来面，来个面，共和再见呀，哈哈，拉面，炸酱面，谢谢。